Hello and good afternoon. It's Friday. It's a week until the big day. And just seen somebody else has subscribed to the new group. So, yes, welcome everybody. Friday afternoon, it's dark, it's cold, as it has been all day. But I wonder what you've been up to. I hope you've possibly been sewing. Don't think anybody's here yet, so we'll wait just a moment to see. Aha, yes, I see there are now. So I'll get my little bits and pieces together. So welcome everybody. I hope the notifications came through. On a Friday, as usual, I will always be doing a demo as Trisha Time on this page, on the So Totally Trisha page. Yesterday, Thursday, I did. It was going to be in the group, and those of you that were here with me noticed there was a bit of a mess. Hello, Shirley. In that, I couldn't get onto anything on my iPad. Hello, Dorothy. And unfortunately, I had to use the phone because it was the only way that I could get onto Facebook in the thing I wanted to do. So I had to go on the So Totally Trisha page. Hello, Jeeta. Well, you can see I'm nice and warm, which is why have I got some thread there? Probably. I've usually got thread everywhere. It's opposite way round, so... Oh, no, it's still there. Oh, there it is. It's a bit of black thread, and I haven't even been using black thread. So I am lovely and warm, thank you. I hope you are too. Haven't had the fire on yet, but as soon as we're finished, I shall be lighting it. Hello, Marion. Yes, I'm keeping warm. And hello, Josie. Hello, Jill. Hello, Alison. It's definitely freezing cold. You know how we quite often say, oh, it's freezing. Never is. But this time, when we say it's freezing, it is. Hello, Maria. One of my subscribers. I recognise a few names here. Hello, Yvonne. Thank you, Maria. Hello, Linda. Lovely to see you today. Yes, so yesterday was a bit of a nightmare to start off with, and I did look a little bit back at what it was like, because I didn't know if you could see very well, but it wasn't bad. It's just I can see more on this screen as to what I'm pointing to when we go down to the machine than I can on the phone. It's a little bit small, and but it was okay. But I felt I moaned a little bit too much at the beginning. It was like, because I was in a bit of a quandary. Who's that there? That is Pamela. Hello, Pamela. Hope you're well too. Oh, what's Jill had? Central heating fix today. Oh my goodness. 48 hours in the cold. Look, I know what it's like without having the heating on in the day, let alone all day and night as well. I'm glad it's fixed for you. Hello, Carol. Yes, Carol, thank you. Charlie is totally better. This morning, for the first time in a week, he went to school, or nursery, he calls it school, and I knew the difference, having two of them in the house before I take them. There was noise, there was laughter, there was running about. It was lovely. Charlie back to normal, eating everything in sight as well. So, yes, all is looking good. So thank you for that. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Beverly. I am feeling cuddly. I said to Martin this morning, this jumper makes me look bigger than ever, but it's warm. And underneath, I have a polo neck. It's one of those thin, slinky ones, but which I don't wear because it shows everything. But underneath, it's a little bit like a body warmer. And I have been snugly warm all day, except when I went outside. And, well, I was still warmish, but I know it was cold on the face. Oh, you've got no sound, Shirley. Now, we had that last night with somebody else. Perhaps best to log out and log back in again. And actually, that's what I had to do for the first time ever. The reason I think that I couldn't get onto either into the group, it said I was perhaps not a member. I thought, not a member? What do you mean? Couldn't see anything from So Totally Trisha. An error has occurred, etc. So this morning, because I thought I daren't do anything because I don't want to delete anything, and I logged out thinking I won't remember my password, but it noticed immediately when I logged out and sent me a passcode, and I got back in, and everything was fine. So, strange. First time ever, though. But we're okay now. As you're here, I'm here, and I'm reading comments. What more could I ask for? Hello, Karen. Oh, there's Christine watching. Thank you, Christine. Another subscriber. It is Carolyn. Great news. Read Charlie. Hello, Heather. Lovely to see you. And Jules, good afternoon. And Linda. And Kirsty. You've been making Christmas cards. Wow. I haven't written a Christmas card yet at all. I mean, I used to make cards. I used to love making cards along with the sewing. But something had to give, and I'm afraid the cards was it. And I haven't got back to it since. I do watch a little bit now and again, and I'm tempted, but I think, no, I cannot do both. I need to concentrate on one thing. Facebook does have its own rules, Jeeta, and it's a nightmare at times, but on the whole, it's really good, so I mustn't complain. Hello, Jan. Lovely to see you today. So, what's been happening? Hello, Judith. It isn't long for Christmas now. We have one more whole week, and I thought for next week, haven't decided what, but I'm thinking we will revert. You're glad it was the girl? Yeah, absolutely. I shall do. Hello, Vivian. You just finished wrapping your Christmas presents. Lovely. You got the... Oh, that's strange, Shirley. Never mind. Watch on one and listen on the other. Oh, fabulous, Linda. Yep, absolutely fine. So, yes, I was going to say something from there, wasn't I? Da-de-da-de-da. You know how it just goes. What were we talking about? Oh, yes, I did a poll, didn't I? To see how you were getting on with your Christmas presents. And I think most of you were still going, but you'll get there. But no, it's lovely to see that you are working away and enjoying yourself at the same time with the sewing, ready for gifting. So the gifting I did, so yesterday's bookmark pen holder to go around the books with the elastic on, I gave those all to Victoria this morning, and they've gone off to Happy Homes for hospital residents this Christmas. So, you know, it's just a little thing that I could do, and yeah, I'm sure somebody will enjoy them. The nurses that accepted all the gifts from Victoria today, and Milton Ernest Care Home, nursing home even, they were extremely thrilled, and I thought, what a lovely thing for them to do. Hello, Janet. I missed one there. You'll get your subscription set up over the weekend. That's fine, Judith. No problem at all. Sharon, hello. It's so cold. I know. It's so very, very cold. But next week it's supposed to warm up a little. I say what that means is it will be less cold than freezing, but I bet it's still cold. It is winter after all. But we are coming up to the the shortest day even. And coming up to the shortest day means that we'll be looking forward to longer days, and spring will be here in no time at all. Not wishing time away, but doesn't it fly? I mean, where has this last year gone? Not been a good year for everybody. So we're hoping for better things next year. Yes, you know, quite a few horrible things have happened. I know each year there's some not so nice things, but we've had a rough time the last few years, haven't we? But never mind, we will crack on and we'll keep sewing and we'll be happy. We may not have any money, but we will be happy. Hello, Jane. Oh, Christine, yes, thank you very much. You managed to get a shoe on for the first time. Fabulous. Well, you keep resting because you've got that wonderful holiday to come up, and you'll have, well, you may be able to watch all the lives I do while you're away as well. But I hope you're getting better swiftly. Hello, Lorraine. Lots of love here in, lots of snow here in Perth. Oh, goodness, yes, do keep safe. Yes, as long as the snow goes away. Beverly, I hope you don't mind me asking, but when did your last orders go out, as I haven't received mine? However, I know the post is a nightmare and it will turn up. Yes, they have all gone, Beverly. The last ones went on Monday, so yours may have gone. They didn't go on the Friday purely because that was a strike day. That was a week today. They were striking. No, they weren't. No, yes, they were on the Friday. So I didn't post then. So last Monday was the very last day. So they either went on the Thursday or the Monday. I had a few left over for Monday, but they went off. But I do know some people have had their parcels in reasonably good timescales. Other people where they've had 2 or 3, the latest ones posted have got there, and there's ones from previously that haven't. I know somebody had 3 parcels, number 2 and 3 arrived before number 1, and somebody else has waited perhaps 2 weeks for them to come through, but everything has gone off. Now I know I've had a couple of orders come through today. No, one was yesterday, one today, and unfortunately I don't know how to put on the website no more posting until either between Christmas and the New Year that week, or the 3rd of January, I think it will be, because there's no strikes then. But I'm thinking they're going to have a huge backlog to clear, and what I'm thinking is I don't want to add to it and they get lost. So we will we'll see as it goes, but as long as you know that you can still order from the website, but they won't be posted next week, most definitely. And I think most of the small businesses are in the same position. They're saying, you know, get it done. I mean, I can send special delivery, but we are talking, for something small, we're talking $5.50. For something a little bit heavier is around £8, and if it is heavy, we are talking £11. Now, I don't know if anything's worth it that much to do that, but it is possible. But you would need to sort of specify that's how you want it, because you're absolutely desperate. And somebody asked the question today, I saw, which I did respond to. I don't have an Amazon shop. In a way, they're quite a good idea, but all I think that does is takes business away from small businesses, and that's my only reason for not having one. I suppose I could if I were going to say sell books or things that I don't actually stock. So perhaps it's worth thinking about, but it's not on my agenda at the moment. Although, I mean, delivery-wise, Amazon is great. I've had a lovely book come through today. Haven't had time to open it yet, but it just gives me lots of ideas to bring to you. Hubby walked in and I was clearing out the small bedroom for a sewing room, as too cold for me in the conservatory. Exactly, Shirley. I can totally understand that. That is why I'm not sitting in the conservatory. I think last year I did, and I had a small heater by my knees, and it was lovely. But you know what the cost of that would be now? So instead, I'm in a nice, cosy little bedroom, the smallest bedroom, and the radiator's over there, and it's lovely. So, yeah, if there's another small, yeah, same as me, you see. But if there's another room you can use, why not? What's the point of it just sitting there, not doing anything and just holding a bed? May as well have a bit of fabric in, mightn't it, a sewing machine. Hello, Lorna. Well, that's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to that. Hopes we're all staying warm. I think we are. Just putting a few more layers on, I think. Hello, Debbie. Debbie says hi to everyone and hopes we're all well. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Caroline. Oh, yes, I could do with a doze. I thought that earlier on because I still keep getting up early. Well, I had to this morning. So, Janet says better late than never. No worries. Were you having a little doze too? Okay, Beverly. As I say, I know it's definitely on its way. Oh, Jeeta's still waiting for yours. Yes, I remember your name being there. Yours might have been Monday morning. So I don't expect anything to be there in the usual 2 days. I mean, sometimes, on occasion, they've been fantastic and it's been next day for a second-class parcel. But at the moment, what I have read and hear is that they are not delivering letters, but they are going for the more important parcels. So we'll hope that. But then any Christmas cards that are being sent, that's not very nice, is it, to know that they're not going to be delivered and other things are being prioritised. Definitely special delivery because you pay a premium for it. And I think they are getting there next day as they should be, guaranteed. But yeah, we'll see. Something's got to happen sooner or later, but all this rubbish stops, doesn't it? Hello Jill, hello John, nice to see you today, don't worry. Hello Janet. Well, you're all saying you're late, but don't worry about it, you know I'm only just having a chat. Hello Janet. I saw that. You're so happy. I'm so happy. It's amazing the number of you who are actually paying for the annual subscription. I know there's a little saving as well, but what that says to me is that you believe in me, which is really, really lovely. But there is so much coming, and I can't wait to get started. It isn't long now. In fact, we're 2 weeks away, aren't we? So I really need to absolutely fix all the things I'm going to do as and when. And what I thought I would do, so as I was saying, next week I will do the 3 lives. So the Tuesday will be at 6:30 and the Thursday at 6:30. The Friday here, like today, at 4:30. And I'll work out what demos I'm going to do then, see what little things I can come up with to sort of, what would I say, bring all those creative skills out of you, and sort of last minute things as well that don't take very long. And yeah, keep your happy sewing in the week before Christmas. And then the following week between Christmas and the New Year, I thought possibly, I may not do them all, but I'll probably do 2 out of the 3. And we'll get ready. I will definitely do one in the new group, you know, for those of you that have paid already. And I know a lot of you have set up your subscriptions. And so I'll do something in there just to, and it might be, I think I might do a little giveaway within there a couple of days before. So it might do it in there on the Thursday instead, because it'll be the following Tuesday that will be the first demo. But also I thought January the 1st is when it launches. Although there's no specific demo that day, as it's not a Tuesday, I thought I'll come on anyway. So watch this space. If you're in the group, we'll have a little live, we'll have a little chat and see how things are going. And you never know what I might show you or tell you about then. Can you ask a question, please? Of course, Jane. What did you use on the back of your fabric on the round tray? Oh, Jane, your tray is lovely. And I used G700, which is the woven interfacing. So it looks a little bit like white cotton, but it's got an adhesive side to it. So a little bit of a dotty or a glazed side, and I ironed that to it. So all that does, it gives a little bit of body to the fabric, and it turned out really quite well. The other thing you could use, which I think would be fine as well, is the latest wadding or fusible fleece, I've called it on the website. I've got loads more in stock. Obviously I won't be posting out, but if you wanted to reserve some for when I do post out, I will. And the fusible fleece is £5 a metre, and it's 36 inches wide. It might be slightly wide. No, I think it's 36 inches. But that was, it's a very nice, it's got a bit of body to it, but it's fusible as well. So that would be quite nice for the tray. You use fusible backing. Should be fine, but just for a little bit more body, G700, or as I say, the fusible fleece. You could do it even thicker if you wanted. It's just the turning, when we turn it through the circles to the right side and then close that gap. When you've got foam wadding, it's a little bit bulky to get a nice even edge, but you could get away with that, because where the opening is, that could be where the little pockets are formed, so you don't notice it, takes your eye away from there. But you could put any fusible backing or backing on there. Hello, sir. Lovely to see you today. Oh, Carolyn's... right, so we've got some coming through. Yours arrived today, Carolyn. That's great. Of course you can, Jeeta. I will pop it on the website tonight even. Yeah. I will see when I pop downstairs. I'll take a photograph and I will pop some of... Oh, yes, I've got it here, haven't I? Haven't even seen what the price is yet. I don't think it's too bad. But, yeah, this is the nice 1.5" wide wadding elastic, which I used for the bookmark pen holders that go around the book. So at the minute I've just got the cerise and purple because I wanted something a bit pretty. I tell you what I had an idea for, and you might make one before I do. I thought a pin cushion on the wrist in a nice pretty colour around here would look fab, and then a nice pin cushion on the top. Because I see American ladies usually, when they're doing a demonstration, say YouTube or Pinterest or whatever, they've nearly always got it on their arm. And I thought, that is so handy just to take your pin from off your wrist. So that's what they were for. Haven't got round to making it. But I'll see if I can get some more colours as well. Oh, Kirsty's done the same with the conservatory. Decamp from the conservatory onto the dining room table. Why not? There's no point in freezing while you're enjoying yourself, is there really? Because it's not as pleasurable. Oh, Fiona's here again. Oh, good. I hope you enjoyed yesterday, Fiona. Read the parcels, depend what area yours are in as to how quick things get sorted. You're absolutely right, Fiona, because you may be living where there's still posties coming out, because some of them I don't think it was a unanimous across the board strike. It was just some sorting offices or some posties, and therefore it depends where. I mean, obviously it's coming from Northamptonshire for me, and depending on where it's going to, it will travel through a few sorting offices. And if it happens to land in one where there's nobody working, that's where it will be stuck for a short while. So it's just hit and miss. But it may be that the one it's going direct to Somerset or East Anglia, you'll be fine. But I don't know, I'm afraid. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, Fiona. It just does depend. The other thing I was going to say, I was going to say something else as well, just came to my mind. But I know you're all being very patient. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, Vanessa's here somewhere. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Sheena. I just got a quick glimpse of you doing some crackers. Lovely. They're quite nice and straightforward, aren't they? And they look super. Wait till the grandson comes tomorrow. Let him have the bigger room. Yes, yeah, he might like that. Hello, Christine. Oh, you're just back from hospital. Plaster cast gone now. Have a delightful thermoplastic splint. Deep joy. Oh dear. But at least the plaster's gone. Yeah. Post is getting into Norfolk then. Yes. Oh, that's right. You're both from similar area, aren't you? And I think they possibly went off at the same time. I'm not sure. And Christine hopes everyone else is good. I think we are. Oh, Jeeta. Look, everybody is more than welcome to watch any other groups or be in any other groups, subscribe to any other groups. I don't mind. We're all different, aren't we? And there are just so many people who sew out there. You know, you are lovely ladies in my group, but you don't. I don't say you can only watch me. You watch who you like, and I love it when you watch me. So that's very kind of you to say. It's very kind, Jeeta. And I love the fact that you like what I do, because I like having you here just like you other ladies as well. So thank you for that. I shall be giving you lots of things to do, most definitely. Now, some of the things you'll think, well, don't want to do that at the minute, but you'll always be able to go back to it, won't you? You'll have the videos in the group, whether you are in it at the time, or even if you start later on, and just every month, if you're in the group all the time, you'll obviously have all the instructions via PDF to be able to look at, so you can remember all the measurements or see them in front of you. And you'll have the instructions will be photographs, just like all my instruction packs, but you'll have a video to go along as well. So you'll always be able to make anything at any point you like. So, oh, there's Vanessa. You lost track of time. Not a problem at all. Hope all is well with everyone. Yes. If you're making time for us, says Fiona, you must be really organised for Christmas. I put on a good front, don't I? Well, actually, I was being a little bit lazy because, yes, I like giving my time to you. It's absolutely my pleasure. Christmas, the children are all getting that little bit older, or the grandchildren, that's who we concentrate on. And so they're having a little make, and very, very possibly, but I've got to make them yet, but you know it'd be quick, I should be doing the gift card holders, but they'll have a little bit of money because they do like going out shopping and choosing for themselves. I mean, you'll probably agree that children these days, they don't just get presents at Christmas and birthdays. They have what they need or want most of the year. I won't say they're spoiled, but a lot of the time they'll have a little present for being good or for doing something nicely or for helping. And we use it as a bargaining point sometimes, don't we? So for them to be able to choose their own, that's what I thought would be nice and easy. And the adults, I like to give them a family gift so they can have a day out together, making memories if you like, because, you know, what do you buy for your daughter who's got everything she needs, or your sons? So I've made it a little bit easy, stroke lazy for me, but that way I can do all of this for you as well. And believe you me, I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like doing it, would I? And I think you'd see on my face if I was here begrudgingly, oh my goodness, I've got to do this. No, I enjoy it, and you know I do. So, oh, there's Wendy. Hello, Wendy. Nikki's waiting for payday. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine, Nikki. No problem at all. This month is a month where there's extra expenses, aren't there? So please, please don't worry about that. Jane's going to order some in the new year. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a nice idea, Beverly, but I haven't got around to doing it, have I? Oh, and there's Eileen here at last. Lovely Eileen. Hope you're well. Okay, Jeeta. You just have to wait till I get it on there because I'm going to take a photograph and then I upload that and then I'll pop it on the website. But thank you for that. Evening, Patricia and Bev. Oh, Jane likes the idea of the wrist pin cushion as well. And Janet's done that too. Yes, I have done one in the past, and there's probably a demo. I bet there is actually, but I was thinking something different because it could be square, could be round, could be, oh no, I'm not going to give all the ideas away till I do it, but it could be a flower. Oh, there's lots of things. And I'm thinking using my felt. Now, I don't know if I said, I think I have, but I've done nothing with it at all. So I have got some felt, and it is beautiful felt. It is wool viscose felt, and it's in some, it's in plain colours, but it's also in marl colours. So it's sort of flecky, you know, when it's got a little bit of a grey fleck or a darker fleck within it. And there's heathery colours, there's gold, there's all the colours of the rainbow. I think I have 27 different colours. I could have had about 60, but I thought, Trisha, you've got to calm down here, because I've just paid for the Aurifil threads, which will be with me next week. Oh, excitement. Aurifil threads, I've got those coming in next week as well. So I am very, very pleased. So although I feel this week I feel lazy when I don't do a load of sewing. I've done lots of background things, you see. I sorted out, yeah, 2 or 3 things which were phone calls to suppliers and whatever today. So it's all moving forward, but I feel because I haven't made something that I've been lazy. Do you know what I mean? And the more I've got to do, I just move from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and it gets done. But it's been a really nice week, actually. Sue's going to 2. Afternoon, Anne, lovely to see you. And Barbara and Joanna. Not sure where the day's gone. I know. Yeah, it was 11:30 before I started anything, really. Oh, just got to ring the hairdressers. Okay, no worries, Jill. Oh, grandson's 8th birthday on Monday. Yeah, I've just had one son's birthday last Saturday, and I've got another one 2 days after Christmas. So it's an expensive time of year, but never mind. We will get through, and it's enjoyable birthdays. Karen is just changing from phone to iPad while I wrap presents to deliver on Sunday. Fabulous. Dual tasking. Very good. That's what we ladies do. Yeah, that's right, Nikki. Yeah, I know. And they love a little bit of money. Do you know a few coins is enough for them? And because sometimes they don't really realise the total value, but you know, if it's a note, it's like, oh, what's this? So yeah, it's good. Rather than money, you could set up a Go Henry card. True. I'll have a look at that, Fiona. Good idea. Hello, Angela. Oh, you've lost the sound, Fiona. Oh dear. You could try logging out and logging back in again. Hello, Carol Finn. Hello, Carol. Carol's a lovely new lady. So lovely. Thank you for joining us today. You will find there is a lovely group of ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget the gentlemen. And we just have a lovely time. So we have a little natter at the beginning. I waffle a little bit, but we have a demo as well. So if you've been watching from the start, you'll probably have heard about the new group that's launching on the 1st of January. And there's lots of things coming to that. So the new group is called Sew with Trisha. So if you wanted to have a quick sneaky peek look, because there are actually some files already in there. I think there's a couple of templates for different projects, and you'll be able to have a look at those, download them if you want to, for nothing. And then the new group begins with all the other goodies that are coming forward from January the 1st for just £5 a month. So you can always enter the group. We need to put in your request to join. We will approve you. And then if you think, oh no, this is not for me, you're more than welcome to either just leave the group, or just say I'm not going to be in it. Absolutely fine, but you might like what you see. Oh, Jill's back. You have to do these things when you think of them, don't you, Jill? You probably thought at 9 o'clock this morning, and then the day just goes and you think, oh, I didn't do it. So do it when you think of it. Absolutely. And just as I was thinking, Carol, I couldn't see the comments, but Sue straight away says, hi, Carol. You'll have a lovely welcome. Welcome on board, says Janet. And Sheena. Janet thinks the felt sounds amazing. It is lovely. That's what I was talking about, wasn't I? So I've got some projects up my sleeves with felt, and even a little bit of hand stitching. One of the things when I got it, I was thinking about book covers with hand stitched applique. I'm thinking of all sorts. I'm thinking there will be bags, there'll be pouches, there'll be so many things. So we'll see. That's a little taster for you for the new year. Lorna saying hi, Carol. Carol saying hi, Sue from Northern Ireland. Jill is, oh, Janet, Orophyll. I know, Orophyll Threads. Hello, Jane. Lovely to see you. Jane, sorry I haven't replied to your email, but no worries at all. Just drop me a message in the new year when you want to come round and we'll sort that. Janet's just made a notebook cover in the mustard yellow felt, which is fabulous. We need to see a picture, Janet. Janet's a lovely lady who lives local to me, and so she comes along to Sewing Club and helps me out. And Janet sews a lot as well, and very nicely too. So she bought some of the felt the last time she was round, and that's what we're going to see. It's a gorgeous colour, isn't it? Jan's welcoming you, Carol. Oh, no worries, Fiona, no worries. Nikki says hi. Oh, Carol, do you know Jill? I wonder if Jill said to you, Carol, why don't you have a look? Oh, it would be nice if you do. Hi, Carol, North Yorkshire. Or perhaps, yes. Oh, perhaps you said, where are we from? Jan says, as you've been good, is Father Christmas bringing you the sewing machine? No, do you know, it keeps going into my mind because I want to upgrade, don't I? I want to upgrade one of them. And I made some inquiries 2 or 3 weeks ago. And one of them, who I thought would be really good, I thought was very, what would I say, condescending. I was going to do a trade-in, and the money he offered me, I just thought, I'm not selling it. I don't even, I'd rather keep it. Do you know what I mean? Or I'd rather give it away, in fact, than take the minimal amount he was willing to offer, because it is a very underused machine. It's Benina, and it's lovely. It just hasn't got a particular function that I want. So we shall see. Perhaps I'll wait till the new year, Jan, but it's one of those things, as you know, that excites me. But now there's Orophil, and the felt excite me, and the new group excites me. So, having said in the past, I don't get excited anymore. There's a few things coming up that are exciting me. Jill's birthday is 2 weeks after Christmas, always expensive for John. Yes, 43. Oh, that's a special year, Jill. You really ought to have something really, really special. Might be a new sewing machine. You never know. And do remember, when I win the lottery big time, you will all have a new sewing machine from me. And I say that frequently because I mean it, but I haven't won the lottery big time yet. Well, I haven't won a little bit for ages, but you never know, do you? Jane's granddaughter's birthday on the 22nd, and she'll be 12. Lovely. Some more welcomes, Carol. Shirley's sisters as well. Oh, Janet's saying what a fab group it is. Yeah. Joanna's husband's birthday is Christmas Eve, and yours was the 13th. Yes, expensive. Well, happy belated birthday for the 13th, Joanna. I'm sure I probably didn't say then. Oh, you're welcome, Carol. They are. See, there's welcomes all the way. And I never say a word. I never say, please welcome this lady. They just do it automatically, which just shows what lovely people they are. Oh, Mavis. Hello, Mavis. Got your subscription started. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you. And yes, it is very chilly. Oh, Jill, you have a poorly whisper pop in your house. She has a virus. We have antibiotics and inflammatory meds. Poor for. Oh. Right. All lovely wishes to that little pup in your house, Jill and John. Oh, do you know when one of my sons had a Jack Russell puppy that was poorly? Oh my goodness, it was like, for me, it was like one of the children was poorly. It is just the same. They are part of the family, aren't you? Aren't they? Yeah, all good wishes for him to get better, and I hope he takes his antibiotics better than Charlie did, because you know what he was like. Can't wait for the felt project, says Janet. No, they will come soon. I might do a few over Christmas. I've got my ideas. I must keep writing the ideas down because I forget, and then something jogs my memory and I think, oh yes, that. Yeah, so we're all sending huge wishes for your little pup. Carol, no, not Carol. Carol's who we're welcoming. Jill is whose little pup it is. Let's hope we get some sleep tonight. We end up, yes. Oh, Sue says everything is exciting. I know. Which one are you thinking of? It's the Benina 570QE, and the only thing it hasn't got is a thread cutter, you know, where you press the button. Saying that, and it's about 6 or 7 years old, but I used it originally when I was on Hochanda, but I haven't used it for a long time, because then I went on to using my Janome. Now I use the Juki DX7, so it hasn't been used. It's got a lovely carry hold-all bag. It's got a little, I call it like a wardrobe, so it's got a special little tabletop, yeah, it's like a wardrobe, so it's got doors, and you put all your bobbins in there, and all the feet hang in little hangers. It's really very nice. It's got everything else you need, but it just hasn't got a thread cutter. and I love the feet on the Bernina. Carol bought the Janome 9450 QCP. It's brilliant. Yeah, do you know, I thought about that, but Carol, I've got too many sewing machines, and I don't use the one I use here upstairs is a Brother V7, and I've had it for years, and I was going to sell it because I only ever used it to do quilting because it was upstairs, so I would work downstairs on my Juki or Janome, and I've got another Juki there as well, and I'd use those to make the project and the quilt, and then I'd come upstairs because I'd already got the walking foot set up, and I'd do the quilter, and that's all I did on it because it does embroidery as well. But since I've come upstairs, I thought, do you know what, I'll use that machine a bit more, and I love this too. So I do not need another sewing machine, but however I would like one. But I've got the tax bill coming up, haven't I? You see, that's the other thing. Tax, VAT, all those horrible things. But oh, let's change the subject of tax and VAT. Judith's birthday's on the 30th. Rubbish time for a birthday. Well, happy birthday for the 30th anyway, Judith. I'm sure we'll speak before then anyway. Karen watched a Moxie long arm quilting. Yes. Now, yeah, fancy that too. Space for that. And it's not just, you know, when people say, oh, I'd love a Rolls Royce, but I'm not getting one because it won't fit in my garage. I'm not saying I'm not having a Moxie because I can't, but I seriously do not have another room that it would go in, because I think it needs a whole room to be able to get around it and do everything. But yes, I would love one of those, and it looked really good. I think Pinhole Quilting, they look a lovely company that have all those machines, and very helpful when you need help. They're on Sewing Street a lot of the time, but there's videos on Facebook as well. I think they do a live practically once a week, and yes, I think they're a pretty good company to deal with. Jill's, oh, Martin's singing. Oh, you wouldn't want to hear that. My dog was ill last week and needed the same medication. Oh, dog's version of IBS. Oh, good. I hope he's better. Tony's granddaughter will be 15 on Boxing Day. Wow, happy birthday to Tony's daughter. So Christine was watching a demo on the Moxie today. Fabulous. Yeah, that is exactly it. It really is. You do need the room. Try Sewing Machine World, Kings Lynn, they're fab. Oh, well, they're not too far. You see, I would like to go up there. I might do that. Sewing Machine World. I won't say who I went to. It wasn't Sewing Machine World though, so. Oh, Janet, happy 35th wedding anniversary. So it's Martin, isn't it? Janet and Martin. Happy 35th wedding anniversary, Martin. Martin, you've got a lovely lady there, you know. Happy anniversary. Yes, Karen. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Maxine. Ah, yes. They, yes, I'm sure they are your babies. We had a dog. That was my first baby too. And that was my son's first baby too. So, yeah, dogs are lovely. I love everybody else's dog. I haven't got time to do the dog walking. And Martin doesn't dog walk, so I just thought it's better not to have one, but just love everybody else's. Yours was the 4th, Carol. I mean, your 35th on the 4th of December. Happy belated anniversary. Hello, Patricia. And big hugs for the little pup. Exactly, Wendy. The dog can't actually tell you what's wrong, can they? Or where they feel poorly. At least Charlie could, which was good. Christine's got a cousin of mine's just retired, has offered me his fabric sample books. Oh, that is exciting. Yes, just what might be in them there, that potential. Well, you know that I do lots of little makes, don't I? So I'm sure you will be able to make loads, absolutely loads. Yeah, that's 550 QE. I had that and then upgraded to 770. Yeah, that is sort of what I'm thinking too, Janet. I should have to have a word with them. I think I've got the grandchildren all next week, so I thought I'd take a trip out one day. We'll have to see. You never know. There might be one day that I don't have them. And there's no sewing club next week, so Wednesday might be a good day, but we shall see. Oh, exciting. Use one of your covered notebooks so you can write your ideas down. What a good idea, Fiona. I really should do that. I tell you, I'm going to get one of my diaries because this has gone through my mind. I haven't done it yet, but I want to be able to open my diary up so that I can see Tuesday evening 6:30, I'm demoing a bag. The following one, Tuesday evening at 6:30, we have block of the month, and it's going to be this. So I want that to be at least 2 to 3 months filled, so I know exactly what I'm doing. And I know Lindsay, although Lindsay's not here today, Lindsay will be putting posts out to tell you exactly what's going on. So rather than her asking me, what are you doing? And I say, I don't know. I will know, because I'm going to be super organised so that you know exactly what's coming up and when it is. Oh, Barbara's sending healing wishes to all poorly fur babies. Hubby's developed cellulitis after falling down a few steps on the staircase. And the Who lady... Ooh, who's that? Sorry, something's coming in from above. And the Who lady slipped over on the pavement opposite us. I was on frozen snow for 1.5 hours before the ambulance. Oh my goodness. I told you I slipped down the stairs yesterday, didn't I? And I'm fine. I'm really, really lucky. So this is where extra padding on your body helps, because I bounced and it didn't... Where I landed on my bottom, didn't touch my bones or anything, so all is good. So I hope that lady gets much better. Because as Martin said, well, when we get to this age, you can never tell when you fall over, can you? So, yes. Carol loves her Juki too. I do too. Tax, yuck, yes. Thank you, Fiona. Fortunately... it's the paying of it. That's what is yuck. I don't mind doing, I have, like you have, what's it called? Not Sage, QuickBooks. I have Xero, a very similar thing. So the bank account links to it and all the transactions go in there and I just reconcile it to whichever what do you call it, whichever thing it wants, whether it's purchases, sales or expenses, and I just reconcile it, and I quite enjoy doing that. And then it works out all the numbers and I just see what it says and pay what it says. But yeah, I don't know what it is yet, you see. So Shirley would love one like yours, but I have at least 4, even my old singer I had for your 18th many years ago. Yeah, it is. Oh, Janet's got this one too. I love it. I don't believe they do the V7 anymore. They still do a V5, and I think they've dropped the V7 because they were a very similar machine. I imagine the V7 had something slightly extra to the V5, but nothing that was too drastically important, so they dropped one. Because they did have a lot, didn't they? The V3, which is still going, the V5, the V7, now they've gone to Stellar and I've lost count. I used to know when they've got the Dream Machine, and now, yeah, I can't remember. They've got numbers and letters and numbers as well as names. So yes, happy anniversary is all coming through. Carol loves saying it. I do too. I do too. Once upon a time, I counted I had 21. And the last time I saw Debbie Shaw, she said to me, have you got any more sewing machines now then, Trish? I said, I can't remember. I know I sold one, but I think I've had a few more since then. So who knows? They're in the depths, but I don't use them all. Oh, Jeeta, your cat's sitting with you watching. Oh, I've had dogs in the past, but I don't think I've had a cat watching. Perhaps I'll go meow. Yeah, oh, my voice is going again today. She's probably, her ears are probably sticking up now, saying, what on earth is that? Oh, Handy Quilt were on today. They're based in Pershore. Oh, right. Sounds like they have good courses. Lovely, lovely. I don't know whether these comments are coming up in a strange order, but they keep swapping about. Sheena watched the demo on the Moxie, but as I've not done a big quilt, I want to learn to quilt as you go, as I just have a normal brother machine. I think when we do our block of the month, I may very well do it as a quilt as you go, and I think we will do it a decent size as well. So each block, I haven't decided exactly, I was saying about this yesterday, we might go, if we went for a 12-inch finished block, and we're going to have 12 blocks, we could have it 4 by 3, so it would be 3 foot by 4 foot and a bit more. So it definitely make a single bed quilt, with some borders. Could even extend it to a double bed sized quilt. But if you're joining in with the block of the month blocks, and you made a few more of some of them, it could quite easily get into a king size. So we'll look at that, but we will do, rather than put the emphasis on having to quilt a large quilt, which, you know, a lot of us may not do, if we did it quilt as you go and then joined them with the special technique, it would be a lot easier for all of us. So we seem to have a bit in common, Janet. With Eileen and Christine. So Eileen's just bought 5 books from the Knitting and Stitching Show at Harrogate. They are fab and only cost £10. Oh, lovely. The one I came through today was £10, so Bev's birthday on the 23rd, and you're, oh, Vanessa, it's my son's on the 27th. Wow, family nightmare. I can quite imagine. Yes, they're definitely. So Janet, phone them. They also have a good web page. I've got free Benina overlocker with mine. Wow. Do you know, I've seen another company have that as a an extra, you know, the free overlocker, but they're not all doing it. So yeah, that would be quite nice. Because do you know what? If I do that and there's a free overlocker, I think, because I've got 2 overlockers and another one, I would actually, I'll see if I can do that, because I would do that as a giveaway. How about that? And I mean that. So yes, I know it's a Benina overlocker and a decent one as well, because all of Benina are decent. But yeah, let me see. If I do upgrade it, we will have a special. We'll have to do something special with it, but I shall give it away. Beverly's going to upgrade your machine early in the new year, and I live in Norfolk. I need to take a look and have a demo. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I prefer to go in a shop and have a look. Janet's still getting used to all the features, but you love it so far. Excellent. I haven't learnt this one inside out. As long as I can move to one thing to the other. Christine, Martin's doing chili tonight, and I can smell it. Oh, it's delicious. I'm talking like 5:30. I have been talking for an hour. I better get on and show you my little demo, didn't I? Carol's been making bags and totes, started during the pandemic. Wonderful. Wonderful. I know. Chat to Natasha. Well, do you know what? I got my Juki through Natasha, actually. So, yes. And yes, she did do a little special, I must admit. Joanna bought a V2 in September. Would have liked beside a settle for the Just the Sewing machine. Yeah, it's a he. What's a he? Right. Single quilt as you go. Both your dogs have t-shirts, Tony. Do we do a quilt as you go? No. All can be done with a standard sewing machine. It could be purely a straight stitch sewing machine. We don't need zigzags. So one of the Jukis and one of the Genomis, HD9 I think, Genomi, is a purely straight stitch. Do it with that. Yep, anything. And the most basic. Barnyard saying they're a stockist, not sure where they are. No, I've heard of them, but okay, Janet. £10 total for the 5 books. Wow. Right. Oh, we've come to the end of the comments. So, wow, that's got me going. Let me show you. Now, I wonder if you know what I'm talking about when I say tube work. I'm not talking about toilet roll tubes. I'm talking about Oh, barn yarns are in Ripon. I couldn't remember where they were. So this is tube quilting or tube patchwork. So what I'm going to show you how to make. So there's one, okay, and I've just put these together. I'm going to show you. Or there's that one too. So two slightly different ways. No idea. Do you know? I really think it's muddling all the comments you're making. Never heard of it. Oh, barn yarns. Yeah, I've heard of barn yarns. They're quite a nice company, I must admit. Okay, so this is what I'm going to show you how to make. Or Harrogate. Okay. And, you know, we've made strippy things before, but I'm going to show you how easy this is. And also, if you have an amazing miter tool, it is perfect. It was a happy accident that I just noticed. I thought, let's give that a go. And the amazing miter tool works perfectly for doing this. Okay, so I thought I would use some reds and whites. I love red and white. Very rarely make anything in red and white, but I have. So I'm gonna pop these up behind me so that you can see, well, while I'm just having a chat, what we're doing. Oh, so yes, you can see that one there, and we'll put this one just here, I think. Okay, and I can always pull it down. Whoops. Let's just tuck that under there. Whoops, no. Oh, well, that, oh no, that's going to pop down there. Don't think I've got another pin. Oh, tuck that in and tuck that. Okay. So there they, whoops, wrong way. There they are. Okay, let's just see. Oh, hello, Margaret. Never heard tube works. No. Well, what would I say? Somebody did say, or did mention, I don't think it was a complaint, but they did say there was too much patchwork in what I was doing and not enough bag making. But so I thought, okay, I know this is patchwork, but I'll call it tube work as opposed to tube quilting and tube patchwork. But we can use it for lots of things. Could be the front of a bag, could be a bag flap. What you could do with, say, this one, round these corners here, and it could be the front of a bag, which is quite striking. So lots of things you could do. Pre-joining the lovely Jane. Good. I replaced my broken machine with a Faff Ambition. Oops, I'm pressing the wrong thing. I think it's a bit clever. You'll be fine. I've got a Faff. I've got a couple of Faffs. Nice machines. I love the fact they were the original brand that you didn't have to put a walking foot onto your machine. You just had a little lever which hooked under your machine foot, and it turned it into the differential feed, or the walking foot element, without taking feet off and putting one on. It's absolutely brilliant. But a lot of the others, so Benina, don't know if Brother do, Jukey do. Could I think about doing a circular bag? Oh, yes, I could. I could indeed. Yes, Jane, that's why I bought one as well, because it is really, really good. But I'd say Benina and Janome and Jukey, they all do the little lever that goes under now to turn it into a walking foot without putting an actual physical walking foot onto your machine. So let's have a look. This is what we're going to do. I've got two different demos for you. Now, I've done one already, that's right. So I thought I would, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Yes, let's show you this one first of all. Let me just get another pin here. That one's poked down. So I'm going to show you this one first of all. Shall I just show you it close up? Show you this one close up. Whoops. So what we have, and you may have done this before, I don't know. What you have is triangles and stripes. but we have nice concentric diamonds, if you like. And all we're using is strips of fabric. So I'm just going to pop it down there for a minute. So what you'll need is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. I have got 3. Now you could do this with as many colours as you like, but I here have got 3. I've got 3 different fabrics, 3 different designs, and these are 1.5 inch strips. And then I have 1 strip of a contrast, which is 3.5 inches wide. So these ones, hello Anne, 3 different colours or 3 different fabrics, 1.5 inch wide. Now I've cut the widths of fabric in half, so it's as if I'm using a fat quarter, just so that I don't take too long to stitch it together. So 1.5 inch times the width of your fabric preferably, but you might be working with a fat quarter, so it's about 20 inches. And then about a 20 inch strip of 3.5 inches wide. So let's just have a look. Oh yes, I have got that up here. So let's just point it down. Must take the light off. Okay, so the light is off and we're down. I am back on the iPad, so hopefully it's going to look a little bit, or it looks better for me. I can see much better what you can see. So I'm just going to first of all plug in my iron, because we do need to do a little bit of ironing. Oh, I found my ruler. Let's pop that just there. Okay, so let's turn that on for a start. So what we're going to do first of all, decide which arrangement or which order you're going to put your strips in. I'm going to have my lightest one in the middle, just because I fancy it being in the middle. And then I am going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to use my patchwork length of stitch, which if you can, I would take your stitch length down to 1.8 or 2, so you've got a nice short stitch length. And then I'm putting my fabrics right sides together, and I'm aligning up that one edge. So what we're actually doing is purely straight stitching. What I thought as I was stitching the ones today was, when you're sitting at the machine, are you sitting right in front here? So my body is just here, so I'm sitting with it straight in front of me. I'm not sitting to the side and stitching, and I'm looking over where I'm stitching, and I'm watching the edge of my foot, and I feel that's how I get a good accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance. And the other thing, can you see my fingers? I've got my fingers around the sides. I'm not pushing down, but I've got my fingers around the sides of the strips so they flow through straight. Like I'm watching the edge of the foot, but I like to let it flow through in between my fingers, and it keeps it nice and straight. I mean, what you may find with your sewing machine, because I do, is that it will pull it through quite straight anyway. It's, you know, the older machines probably didn't, and because they hadn't got the mechanism at the time that machines have these days. So what I'm going to do now is pull in. So at this point, you could get away with not pressing, but I would press at this point. So I'm just going to put this along here, and we need this to stay nice and straight, so we don't want to press it out of position. So I've just set my seam by pressing it before I open it out, and I'm pressing to the dark side, and I'm using that swirling motion because that pushes the seam open. So just going across the seam in the middle, and so it uses the side of the iron as well, and it's pushing that flat so that we're not pressing a pleat in there. It's opening that seam out perfectly, and you can probably see, or see from that, perhaps if I put it at that angle, That is, can you see how that looks perfectly straight all the way? And that is exactly what we want. So I'll just turn that down a little bit, because now we need to just pop the third. So the other fabric I have is this one, and I'm going to put that on the side. Let's see here. I'm going to put it on this side. So I've got the two darker ones at the sides of the light one. So let's just line this edge up here and pin if you'd like to, but you can just line that up nicely like so. And so I'm aligning those raw edges, and then I'm just going to stitch straight down here. So I can line it as I go, and I'm just pulling this bit taut and laying it down, and then like I did yesterday, I'll just put my finger on there to hold it together. Watch the edge of your foot. So if you've got a patchwork foot, it might have that little guide on the side. Just watch that is right on the edge of the fabric there. And you can see those raw edges together. I can see it's gone a bit offline there. So I'm just putting it down to the bottom, just pulling that over. And those edges are then perfectly aligned. Now with this technique, the more careful you are with your cutting and your stitching and then your pressing, the better it will fit together, because it will be the perfect seam allowance. And having put these three together, what we're going to have is we are going to have a strip that is in 3 colours. And what we're aiming for, so I'm just going to iron this again. Sorry, so if we set that seam to start off with, it just goes back a lot easier. And as I say, by using the side of the iron and pushing it out, opening that seam out, and we want this to be nice and straight the whole way. So again, just pull that down. And I like using my wool pressing mat because I don't need to use steam, because the wool pressing mat holds the heat in there, and it's basically throwing the heat back up again. So now that we've got all 3 strips pressed, can you see how nice and straight that is? And that is what we're looking for. So having done that, what we are going to, I've got one here. I did have 1, 2, let's see where that one's gone now. No, that's a different one. Right, so let's take that away from here. And all we're going to do now is take our 3.5-inch wide strip, and we are going to, now this is a white on white, so just make sure it's the right way up. And I'm going to put that right side down onto my strip, and that should fit perfectly. So let me pop it this way here. So we've got that all nicely pressed, and when we put this 3.5-inch wide strip on here, that should fit. And oh boy, it does. Can you see? So this should fit. Now it won't fit if your seam allowances have been smaller or wider than 1/4 inch. It will make a difference, so they won't match up. But and if that's the case, I'll tell you in a moment what we'll do with that. But as it happens, that has just perfectly aligned, which is what I wanted. And then I'm going to stitch down both sides. So I'm just making sure that that is nicely aligned down this edge first of all. And I'm watching my foot. Let's just pull that over just a little bit, just like that. I can see I've got a few fray bits, but that doesn't matter. They will disappear. So we've gone all the way down there. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down the other side as well. So let's just flip that around, smooth that out, because we want it to lay flat. We don't want there to be a bump in this fabric. So having pressed it nicely and just holding that nice and flat to the fabric, I'm just using the edge of the white one, and you see there's the tiniest little bit showing of red there, but I'm using my white piece and just smooth that fabric across so that it's nice and flat and all the way down to the end here. So basically, here is your tube. So turn it over here. There is our tube. It is all joined. So this is where the magic happens. So let me just find my cutting mat. Okay, let's just go a little bit back from there so that you can see. So here is my cutting mat. What we're going to do is, so there's more than one way of doing this. You can use a square ruler. If you have a square ruler, you'll notice along the middle here there is a diagonal line which is at 45 degrees, and what we can do is put that line on this bottom edge here and move it along like so, and we can cut that angle. So we can do it that way, and then what we would do, having cut that piece off, we would move that line up to the top, so the line lines up here, and then we would cut that other side, and we will have cut a triangle. Or we can use a ruler, a rectangular ruler, and again you have a 45-degree line here. So what we would do, let's see, I would line up the 45-degree line with the top edge of the fabric there. Let's just pull that in just a little bit. Okay, so we are lining the 45-degree line here with that top raw edge of the fabric, and then I'm going to shift it across there till this point here is as far across so we don't waste. Okay, and then I would cut along here, and what we would then do is move that line down to the bottom here, and then we would cut along there up to the point that we've cut, which may be a little bit further along, and then cut there, and then we move that up to the top here, and we would cut that way, move it down to the bottom here, so that we're cutting triangles, but they are double. We've got plain white on the back and we've got strippy on the front. Or, so you can do it with the rulers that you will have, or we'll take a look at our amazing mitre tool. Now I've got a bit of fabric here, you can, no, I'll put it on there. So here is, you remember, I know a lot of you have it, the amazing mitre tool for making mitres, which is triangular in shape. And for a very happy reason, the amazing mitre fits perfectly, because what we will do, there is a little line. Can you see that dashed line along the bottom here? Whoops, this dashed line. Let's just point with this. If we line up that dashed line with the bottom edge so that it's just off the edge of the, so you can see the ruler, there's a little bit, a 1/4 inch of ruler here, and the dashed line lines up with that bottom edge, we can use that to cut our triangle. So the first cut is going to be in 2 ways. So let's just, so what I'm going to do, I've lined up this bottom edge here, that dashed line, and I can see I'll be able to cut a whole triangle there. Just move that way, and just move that back just a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to press down on here and cut, and then I'm just going to swivel this round like so and realign that dashed line and this edge here like so, and then I'm just going to cut. So I'm moving my feet out of the way, and I will trim that little bit off there. So I've cut that one, and that is the only time that we're actually going to need to change this strip around, because now I've flipped my ruler the other way up, and now I'm going to line the dashed line here and this edge here. Okay, and I'm looking to see that the dashed line goes all the way along there, and then I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to pull that away, and then I'm going to flip it over the other way and align that dashed line here and the edge with this diagonal edge. Okay, and cut and move that away, shift that over a bit, flip it over the other way. The dashed line is now, and don't worry about that little cut off bit, that doesn't matter. And I'm going to cut here like so. Take that one away. Oops, didn't cut through there properly, did I? That was through a seam. There we are. And then we're going to move it around this way. Line up that edge there, that diagonal edge. Watch for the dashed line and cut. And I think we just see if we can get one last one. I don't think we can. I'll just see. I wouldn't, it's just, but you see this would have been a whole width, so it would have fitted a lot better. But I'm just going to see if that will work. Might be minimally, but we might get away with that there. So I'll throw that one out of the way a minute. But what we're going to do now with these is we are going to open them up, and we have a block. So we want that to go under there. I'm just going to press them in a minute. So our triangles now become squares, and triangles become squares. Triangles become squares, and triangles become squares. So we have all of those, and that is using the Amazing Mitre tool. So let me just get my, so we'll just press them, and then I'll show you how actually they, I'm just going to take that back just a little bit, that's it. So when we press them, what it's best to do is have our darker fabrics on the top. So again, set that seam, flip it open, push the iron along that seam, and you've got a beautiful square. And so the same here, let's turn them that way. So if you want to press to the dark side, it is better to have the dark fabric on the top, and then when we open it out and press, that is pressing to the dark side. So set the seam, open out, press it back. Whoops, I haven't pressed that properly. There we go. And there. And it's better to do it sideways, really. So set the seam, open it out, and press, and press. So we've got a nice straight diagonal there, and press this one. Oh, don't knock that seam out because we pressed that nicely before. And open out and press along that edge. Just making sure that is opened out fully. Okay, so we have our squares. Now what we can do with these is, like my block, we can fit them together like so. And what you'll find actually, now can you see those fabrics and these fabric are different here? We've got this central one which is going the whole way round, but if you want to do these opposite so that they are, I didn't with my ones because I didn't notice, because we're cutting one triangle upside down to the other. Can you see now how that alternates? So we've got the deep red, the flowery, the deep red and the flowery, and it's the same in the middle, that they're nicely opposite. But before I sew that together, What we could do is put the white section into the middle, like so, and we have got then a completely different block. So there is that block, but it could be that block, or it could be that one, and that's got a nice area for a bit of quilting if you like, or a bit of applique in the centre, or it could be that, like so. So you can actually, in a quilt, you could put different ones next to each other, or you could carry on like this, and what it would be doing, it would build up this just here. So you can see it would offset these and offset those. So very similar, but it gives you a different appearance. So what I would do from here, I'm a little bit conscious of 10 to 6. Oh, are we okay? Yes, we are. Okay, so let me show you how I would join these together. So we'll take them off the mat, because I've got one more I want to show you as well. So let's put them here like so. Now what I would do, just turn that up there, and this is where, if they're in a certain position and we don't want to confuse, you know, we might accidentally turn that way, and that's not quite right in the way we want it to be, because that's another way you could do it. So how about putting them together to form lines? That's another way. But I want this time, I wanted to have that big white area in the middle. So what I would do, I would put this one right sides together, line that up carefully. So I'm just lining that with there. I'm going to stitch down this edge here. So we'll put that under the machine. I'm not going to pull off those or cut the dog's ears off yet, because I feel that they can be a bit of help for starting off the stitching. So I've stitched down there, but I'm not going to cut the thread, because I'm going to take this next pair, put them right sides together, and I'm going to stitch down here as well. I'm just making sure that lines up well at this bottom edge. There we go. Just because they're both stitched the same way, I'm just wanting them to line up. Pin if you would like here. I'm just going to hold that together, and then I'm just going to put that straight under the machine and stitch along there and cut. Now because I didn't cut the threads, they're joined together. So when I open them out like so, we haven't got them in the wrong place. So now I'm going to do right sides together, flip them over there. This is the only seam now. I'm going to have one seam going one way and one going the other. So just pull those apart. You could press, but I'm just going to pull them apart so that they nest. And I may, let me just have a look. I had a pin here somewhere, didn't I? I pulled it off. Okay. Let's have a little dressmaking pin. I'm just going to pin that together so that I know my intersection there is good. Then I'm going to line that up here. So I'm making sure those red bits there are lining up perfectly. And I'm just going to put this under the machine here. And I say those flaps give me a little bit of the area to stitch onto to begin with. And I'm just lining those edges up here. So we're just going to stitch across here. And then when I get to that center point here, we're just going to take that pin out, because I don't want to stitch across it. That's it. So I've gone there and I've stitched over there. And then here, I'm just making sure that lines up perfectly as well. So we want that to go perfectly on there, and then make sure those edges align and stitch. So we didn't really have that many seams to stitch, and then that way what I want to look for, I need to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance there, which I do. I need to have, for when we join them together, a 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch there, and a 1/4 inch there. So that has given me another block. And also, oh, I'm a little bit out there, you can't see it, but it's not perfect. But the rest of it works really, really well. So that is one. Now the other one, so with this one we did the tubes and then we did one piece of plain fabric, which has given us that whole of that white area. And the next one I'm just going to show you does it slightly differently. Let me just see. Oh, sorry. So what we're going to do here, and this is going to give me this block. So it may be that you prefer, perhaps you prefer this one, which hasn't got large white areas, but we have got these diamonds, these squares on point, just going all the way around. Now again, you can see here, I've got two the same and two the same. What I should have done was perhaps swap those two so that they were opposites. But if you wanted to do it with the same all the way round, you could actually set aside one set of triangles and set aside another so that you had all the same colour going around there. So that's the one we're going to do now. And how we do this is, again, we pop our strips together, but what we're going to have is we are going to have two whites, so a white either side of a red, but then we are also going to have another set where we have, I'll do that one in a minute, where we have a red one at the outside, a white one in the middle, like so, and then we are going to have another red one on the other side. So we're working with 3 strips on each one, but we are going to have purely almost the background fabric. We're going to have a background fabric each side on this one, and we're going to have a background fabric in the middle on here. So let me just run these up together very quickly so that you can see. So again, right sides together, raw edge, and let's just see this here. So I had, did I have one strip ready done? Oh, I did. Hang on, no, yes. Oh yes, I've got one ready done. So have I put that same one? Okay, I have. Right, so we won't do that one. What we will do is that other set of fabrics. No, we will. We've got, no, that's another one of those. Okay, we will. Sorry, I'm chuntering to myself. So I'm going to do this set here, and we're just going to stitch. I'm just going to whiz down this seam here and join these together. I think actually what I might do, I could, no I couldn't, I need to have 3 sets. I was thinking I'll chop one of these in half and you'll be able to see exactly what it does. So there's one. There's only actually 2 rows of stitching. So we've got, this one is going to be a white each side of the red. So whatever your background is going to be, there we are. And then I'm going to just put, without actually pressing, it is better to press, but I'm just going to put right sides together here and whiz down this side as well. So I'm making sure they line up properly down the side. I can see that I'm seeing more red there, so I'm just going to shift that white over so that all my red fabric is covered, and that means, that shows me that that is aligned perfectly. So again, we are going to stitch down here, and that is purely one set ready stitched. So we'll give that a press in a moment. So as you see, we've got a white either side of our red. Now the next one we are going to have is, we're going to have a red one either side of our white. So where are we? Red, red, not that white one, yes. We're going to have a red each side of our white, and that one's got that one, so we want that. So let us put this one onto our white, which is going in the middle, and that is going to be right sides together. So I'm just lining that long edge up, and we will stitch down here. Now what you saw, or perhaps you didn't see, but my needle went straight into thin air. It's better if you make sure your first stitch goes into fabric, because that's where the needle could unthread itself if you're stitching into thin air. Okay, let's just, with my nails, just move that over. So we'll just stitch all the way down here. And then we're going to have, right, so that one is done. You can see how quick it is. And I need now another red fabric. So I just carefully press that back just with my finger so it's out of the way. It is better pressed at this point, like I did before, because it holds that back, because it gets in the way if it's not pressed back. So now I'm going to do another red one to this side of the fabric. What I try and do is line up my selve edges, and you can see the fabrics are a little bit, they vary. So again, let's just line this up with our background, and we'll whiz down here. We'll do a little bit of pressing. Now what we're looking for this time is that both of our tubes that will be, both of our strips will match each other. So once we've done our pressing, right, so we've stitched there. I'll get my iron back on and bring, and if you remember, this is what we are working towards. We are working towards this. So let's just get our strips here. Now what I would do with this one, we want the seams to go to the dark side, so I'm going to press it inwards. So I'm going to push on this side, or sorry, pull. I'm pulling on this side, but I'm pressing this side into the middle. So let's just press it like so. So as I pull, I'm not stretching it, but I'm just opening that seam out. So let's just open that there and push. And I don't want to press a pleat into this, so I'm pushing down on my iron and press that over there. I'm then going to turn this around, and I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm pressing that inwards. Can you see I'm doing that? And just pull it towards me and press that on into the center. So although we've got two seams, it is making sure that the majority of the fabric is going under this dark seam, and I'm pulling at it. So as I say, I don't want to press a pleat in there. So then I will go on the top, and what I'm looking at is having a nice straight line there. I don't want it to waver. And what I would say, if you're using a steam iron, just be very careful. Just pull that out just to make sure we haven't pressed the seam in. But you can see, if I put it that way, that's beautifully straight. So having done that first one, this one I'm going to press the seams outwards, because our darker fabrics are on outside edges. So what we can do is, I'll start this now, is actually move through the middle, and that will push the seams outwards and to the darker fabric. So just pull that open, and I might move it this way, because let's do it this way like this, and then we can pull that one out and this one as well, and we want to press. So I'm pressing both at the same time, and what it's doing is pulling these both of these seams out to the edges. So I'm pulling at one end, it's opening it out, and as I say, just make sure it's not actually pressing a little fold on the other side, but we'll work on that in a moment when we flip it over. So I've got that seam pressed, and now I'll press it this way because we want to also make sure that is nice and straight. So now I'm just going to go doing a circular motion, and that way any of this seam, if it's created a fold, it's going to open it out, because there might be a little tuck, but we want this to be nice and straight. I know it's very hot, I can feel it, and I'm getting rosy cheeks, I think, but I've got a nice straight seam there. So I've got my two pieces now, and what we're going to do, let's see if that goes up there. Yeah, I'm going to put this one right side down onto this one, so the edges are a little bit wobbly at the top, the self edges, but can you see how that fits perfectly onto there? So let's just move that over, and we're going to line the raw edges up here, and what we should see is that this side fits as well. So let us have a whiz down here. So I'm seeing I'm seeing now extra fabric, so I'm just going to lift that over, line that edge there, and again you can pin if you want to, but let's just move that down here and just make sure those edges are, and here I can see a little bit of fabric there, so let's just move that over like so and just line that up and carry on stitching. And then we're going to have just the other side to stitch up the seam, and as you'll notice, it is the same as we did previously. So then we're going to stitch down the other side. So there's a little bit there, I'll just pull that out. So I hadn't probably pressed that out perfectly, but we'll line that up, and I'll just smooth that, just make sure that all lies nice and flat, and carry on stitching down here. I can see there's a tiny bit there, so that just needed pulling out just a little bit. So I'm carrying on down the edge, and there, lining that up. But basically, one piece fits the other. Okay, so we're going to do the same as we did before now. We've got our darks on the outside, white in the middle, whites on the outside, dark in the middle. So back to our board again, and back to our, now by far the easiest way to do it was with my amazing mitre. Whoops, let's just go in a little bit there. So I've got my rotary cutter, I've got my ruler, I'm looking at that dashed line like so. I'm going to stand up for this and just line that up and cut. And it's only this very first one. If I was walking around a table, I'm just going to shift that around like that though, and then I'm just going to realign that diagonal edge and that dashed line along the bottom, and that's it. So we've got one. So there's one. Now all I'm going to do from now is align that bottom edge and that diagonal. All right, that fits nicely, and cut. And I'll flip it over, align that dashed line and that angle, and cut. Bring that over, flip it over, that dashed line along with the angle. Whoops, didn't cut that very well, did I? There we go, I didn't put enough pressure on there. So again, nice and straight. Oh, a tiny bit cut away there. And then the last one, flip it over, straight line. Now I can see I cut that a little bit funny, So I'm going to re-trim that once I have cut this one. Okay, so I've got an extra little bit, and this can happen. So let's just move that around there, realign, because I know this edge was fine, but realign there, and then we'll just trim. It was because it slipped on that last one, but we can just trim that extra little bit off there, and then we have our perfect triangle. But bring this back in, and with our iron. So now, let's get back out, that's it. We have our triangles, but this time, so there is a few stitches there, we have a striped one. And so you just pull those apart. That was the seam from one of the sides, so it's not a problem. Depends how far the triangle tool goes up there, but that just pulls open, and we have all of our little triangles, which will become squares. So we can press that seam. So I'm pressing again to the dark side. There's one, and this one too. So we'll press to the dark side. Now it is probably better to set that seam. So let's just see if we can here. So the dark one is there. So set that seam, open it out, push and push so that those seams are properly opened. And here, set that seam, open out, press that out. Usually I put the tip of the iron into the middle, and then that opens the rest of the seam out. And then similarly with this one, set that seam, let's do it that way, set that seam, flip it open, push the point into the middle, and then that means that seam is totally open there. Give it a press up the middle. So what you can do with these ones, so we will have two sets of different ones, if you notice. So that one is identical to that one. This one is identical to that one, and that's a spare one. So we're getting 5 out of there. So what we can do, let's do these in opposite corners because they are different. We can have the whites in the middle. So again, you have got this one continuous in here, but you've got opposites here, fabrics, and opposites here. And the middle is all white. And let's just see. So here we have the middle's all white, just like that one. But you might want it this way so that you have a coloured centre, like so. So I'm just pivoting them round so that you've got a coloured centre. So here we have a white centre. Here we have a coloured centre. But you might like to have them, they alternate. You could, so no, we could have them all going the same way. Can you see how like that? So we've got stripes with a triangle. Oh, we could perhaps put it like that. So, oh, that makes those all join up in the same. So we've got rows of stripes. We could have almost like flying geese coming in, so that we have a triangle here. That one doesn't particularly work, does it? Perhaps there would be like, oh yes, like that. No, like that. So can you see how we've got lines of one fabric, lines of another, or arrows, and then arrows there? So lots of different variations of what you can do with the block. So I won't sew that together. We'd sew that together in exactly the same way as we did before. But there we go, we're back again now. That is what you can do. with these unlimited combinations. So really, I've got these odd ones here. So this is what I've showed you tonight. You can either have a completely white of the half square triangle, and you've got a stripy one. So completely different. So we have that one, which is not pressed, or we have that one. So that's made from exactly the same block. So many different patterns, yeah. But it is nice and easy, isn't it? And the fact, well, that's the other one, which was made with these. So these could fit anywhere. So that is like, goes there. But we've got the white in the middle. Okay, Alison, I have really gone over. It's 6:15, my goodness. So that one would go like there. It is very clever, but you can order this. So basically, from 1.5 inch widths of fabric, I think I've got the odd one left now. So you want 3 different colours, 1.5 inches wide. Don't know if, oh, I've got a strip set here. So that's, yeah, but there's a strip set I've already done. You've got 3 stitched together, 1.5 inches wide, with a 3.5 inch wide background. Those go together. Okay, Judith, have a lovely weekend yourself. And just stitch down both sides. Or you can have the 2 sets of stripes, which gives, not that one, the 2 sets of stripes, which gives the other set, which is there. So, and you can see how they were formed by cutting triangles like that. As long as you like, Jill, as long as you like. I used, because that is only that wide, this is like a fat quarter strip. If you use the whole width of the fabric, so twice as long as this, you wouldn't have those spare bits. Do you see where I've got some individual bits, and I got one where it wasn't quite big enough? So the longer you have your width, the more triangles you'll be able to get going up and down as you go across. So you'd probably get an extra 2 triangles which become squares to be able to do this. So this, like a fat quarter length, the 20 inch, the longest length, will give you probably 5. If it were a continuous, so the whole width of fabric, you would probably get, you wouldn't get 5, you might get 11, even 12 if you're lucky. So where I actually trimmed it a little bit wrong, and you know, I trimmed that sliver off, if you do it accurately every time, so you're not wasting anything, you'll get the maximum number of triangles which become squares from it. So as I say, you will definitely get 11, but you could possibly get 12. Now the other variation is, I've only used 3 here. If you wanted to make something bigger, quicker, you could put, well, firstly, you could make your strips wider. You could use jelly roll strips, so they're 2.5 inches wide. The only thing then, if you're using a plain width as well, for 3 jelly rolls, you would need to cut a piece of this, which is 6.5 inches wide. So this one would be 6.5 inches wide if you'd got 3 jelly roll strips across here. But your blocks that you make from them will come out much bigger and grow much more quickly. The other thing you can do is add more strips. You could put 5 strips if you want. You could do 4. You could use the same ones every single time, and what you'll get is these diamonds. So these squares on point here will always be the same colour, linking the whole way round. So as I say, if you wanted to put 5, 6, 7 strips next to each other, and then measure the width of your piece, and cut a solid strip to go on the top of it so that it fits perfectly. So there's lots and lots of options with something called tube work. But see if you can give it a go. Might be something that you've got strips already cut from scrappy bits. Absolutely fine to do a scrappy one. Look fantastic. Batiks will look good as well. Must do that. So thank you so much for your company tonight. We have, blimey, I've been talking for nearly 2 hours. So, you'll be fed up with me now. And what I would say is enjoy the rest of your evening and the weekend. Let's hope it gets a little bit warmer. Thank you, Patricia. And we can get out a bit. Thank you, Caroline. And I will see you next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So, bye-bye from me and Martin, who is drying his hair. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.